Arkansas Showcase Radio.com show. And we're here to bring you another celebrity interview. Today, we got a special treat. It's Mike Supe Granda from the Ozark Mountain Daredevils out of Springfield, and that's pretty close to my hometown. And back in the 70s, they had big hits like If You Want to Get to Heaven and Jackie Blue. And he's a great guy, and he just got tons of information. So stay tuned. Coming up right after this, Supe will be here from the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. And stay tuned, and we're coming up right after this. See, recording in progress there, Supe. But
okay.
Hey, Supe, I tell you, this is a great moment for me because Ozark Mountain Daredevils, since I was in high school, was one of my favorite groups. So for people that just tuning in, if they've never heard of you guys, they've been living under a rock.
Well, we've been around since rocks were invented. So, yeah, we're into our 53rd, ending our 53rd year, and it's quite a while, isn't it?
Yeah, and with you guys, since you guys were formed up in Springfield, see, I'm from Carthage, Missouri, so I'm not that far from Springfield.
Correct.
So you're basically the only rock band that we can consider a hometown band.
I don't know. Are there any others?
No, that's about it, Supe.
Like rock and roll band. I mean, the Dillards, but they're bluegrass.
Yeah, but I mean,
okay, but I'll take it. Thank you.
You'll take it, okay. But I tell you, you guys are so unique. I mean, if it's like the weather in Missouri. If you don't like the weather now, just stick around. It's going to change. I mean, right. You go from If You Want to Go to Heaven to Jackie Blue to Chicken Run. I mean, you never know what is going to come out from you guys.
That's right. See, and in the beginning, that was that's something we've always, pardon me, prided ourselves in, and that's something that all Missourians pride themselves in. Is this diversity. You got Chuck Berry's from St. Louis, Miles Davis, you got the Kansas City jazz scene, you got the Dillards, that's bluegrass, you got us. So there's all different kinds of aspects to the populace in Missouri. Why shouldn't there be that kind of wide-ranging influence in our music? That's what the people of Missouri liked at the beginning, but that's one thing that the record company couldn't understand in Hollywood. He said, okay, what do you call this music? What do you call this? And we said, well, we don't know. And they said, well, where do we put your records? Do we put your records in the bluegrass country section? Do we put it in the country section of the record store? Do we put it in the rock and roll section? And our answer was, well, why don't you just put it in all of them?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And 50 years ago, they couldn't understand that. So, but we kind of stuck to our guns. And here we are, 53 years later, and I'm talking to you on a beautiful Friday morning.
But I tell you, even your music was different.
Correct.
Even your instruments, like the Ozark Mountain mouth harp, that was the coolest damn thing on Chicken Run that I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, and like I said, we had so many influences that that mouth bow isn't on Jackie Blue, and there's no saxophones on Chicken Train, and there's no there's no fancy guitar on this, and there's none of that on this. There's no electric piano on that. Pardon me. Each song was dealt with individually and crafted individually with the correct spices that went into the recipe of each song. So,
well, I'll tell you, it played out really well. Now, everybody's going to ask how you got started. I mean, you've been asked that a million times.
That's right.
But how did you guys get started up in Springfield?
Well, we're just hanging around, a bunch of guys hanging around. We'd all been in other bands. You're from, what did you say, Carthage?
Carthage, yeah. That's down by Joplin, Missouri.
Yeah, I know right where Carthage is. Just kind of like, there wasn't much going on. In Springfield, there wasn't much going on. We were all just kind of hanging around. We all were in other bands, and we were playing the latest, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and Doobie Brothers, and Stones songs, cover bands, but we got together as songwriters and we made a concerted effort from the very beginning to play nothing but our songs because our songs were as good as anybody's. And in the beginning, it was kind of rough because, folks wanted to hear the new Doobie Brothers song when they went out to hear music. And we said, well, that's not us because we had bigger fish to fry. We had a higher ambition and vision. Our vision was to make a record. When we made the record, it just kind of took off from there, which is what we had anticipated in the first place. When we first got together, December 1971, the New Bijou Theater, Springfield, Missouri. And that was now 54 years ago. Yeah.
Holy cow. Can you imagine that long ago? I mean, when you guys got first started, when was it when you just said, hey, you know what? We're damn rock stars.
When was that? It was after the first song. Well, I knew I didn't say we were rock stars, but I said, man, this is going to be successful. This group of people and the chemistry in this music is going to go places. Yeah, after the first song. And yeah, that's it.
Now, let me ask you something. Now, if you could look back, you think you would have done better? Because you stayed mostly around Missouri, right? You didn't
Yeah.
travel out to Arkansas, I mean, to Las Vegas or California or
Yeah.
New York. You think that was a mistake or that was a good thing staying in Little Rock? I mean, in
The
Springfield.
Ozarks. Well, I'm going to give you two scenarios. We could have moved out to Los Angeles. I could have made a lot more money because we would have had access to the Mike Douglas show. We could have gone on the Smothers Brothers show. We could have gone on a Sonny and Cher show. We made a lot more money. We could have been like the Eagles, and they made a ton of money. Or B, we could have stayed in Missouri where our young families were and remained true to our roots. My daughter was eating fresh strawberries out of the garden.
Wow.
She was eating fresh vegetables. She was swimming in clear blue streams. We were breathing pure Ozark air, and I didn't want to uproot her and move her to Los Angeles so I could go on the Cher show. I could have made a lot more money. I could have been a lot more famous. Right now I might have developed a um, well, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We stayed in the Ozarks because that's what got us to where we were, and you kind of you leave with whoever you dance with whoever brung you to the dance.
Absolutely. Now,
So yeah,
on your music, who does all the writing, or is it everybody does writing?
everybody, every one of us had songs. Some of us had songs that were more successful. Others had songs that were less successful. Others had songs that were more serious. Others had songs that were more ridiculous. So yeah, we threw them all into the gumbo, and that's what came out.
Now, on the rights to your song, I mean, a lot of these groups, that's a big problem. They lose the rights to their songs, and then there's the court battles and this and that. With you guys, who has the rights to your songs?
Okay, in the very beginning, here's the situation. In the beginning, we set up our, what do you call it? Corporation. We set up our we set up our entity that when we kept the publishing to our songs. When the publishing check came in, we divided it up immediately. We had the pie chart. You get 11, you get 9, you get 14, you get 23, and you get 6, whatever the pie chart is. When the check came in, we divided up. We divided it up per that pie chart. Now, what you wanted to do with your money, is your business. What I wanted to do with my money is my business. So we kind of kept all of that at bay because we saw exactly what you're talking about, man. We saw people suing each other. We saw people fighting with each other.
Yep, absolutely.
And we wanted to avoid all of that. It's very simple. You know, you get a dollar, you split it up, you all go your separate ways.
Yeah, well, that's amazing because you guys had the right idea. You know, people like Creedence Clearwater Revival,
Correct.
they fired the guy
Correct.
who wrote all the songs,
That's exactly correct. I know
and
what you're
it's
going to
cool that
talk.
you guys kept together.
Well, we're hillbillies, but we're not stupid hillbillies. Let's just put it at that.
Well, I tell you, I've started reading It Shines,
Yep.
your book.
Yep.
That's an amazing book. And
Thank you.
now, after it's done, you're going to have to sign it, not because it's a book, it's that I finished the book.
Well, I had a really cool thing happen to me here recently where a guy, well, maybe much like yourself, he came up to me after a show and he brought a copy of It Shined. And it was just beat to shit. Pages were all wrinkled. And he said, well, I read it. I gave it to my brother. He read it. He gave it to our cousin. He read it. He gave it. And so he says, and look, all these people read the book and the pages were all turned up.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I said, man, that thing's beautiful. And so, you know, I said, fantastic. I'll sign it in a heartbeat for you, man.
Yeah, my daughter sent me a copy of it. She said, I saw it on Amazon, and you're always talking about Ozark Mountain Daredevils,
Yep.
Ozark Mountain Daredevils.
Yep.
So I sent it, and here it is, but you got to read the whole damn thing because she knows I don't like reading books. I said, okay. So I'm about halfway through now. So I'm going to finish that thing, and then I'm going to have you sign it saying
Yep.
I did finish it.
Well, the thing is when I was writing it, see, I'm working on my fifth book now. I mean, I have four other books. I mean, three. I have four books total out there in the universe. I with It Shined, I spent 6, 8, well, maybe close to a year researching because I wanted it to be informationally. Is that a word?
It
Informationally
is
correct.
if you say it.
Okay, it's informationally correct. I wanted it to be correct, but then I wanted the writing style to be entertaining. So it's correct and it's whimsical. And when you read it, when you finish reading it, give it to your friend and let him read it. And that's that's the way I like to see my books well read.
Now, are you guys still touring?
Yes, until for a few more months. Here's what's happening. We're getting ready to celebrate 53 years on the road.
Holy crap!
That's a long time.
That's a long. Most people don't live that long.
Exactly right. And we're quite proud of it. But those days, that's a young man's game. You know, there's two of us left, John Dillon and myself. We're both in our mid 70s. And I don't it's just harder. It's a young man's game and it's harder on us. You know, the 2 hours we play music and do all that, that's fine. That's free. But there's 24 hours in a day. The other 22 hours of the day are hell on my back. You know, I tell people, I tell them, I tell people that my banker loves me, but my lower back hates me. Those days are going to be over as of the end of this year. Now, we're not going away. If you're a writer, you're not going to stop writing. If you're a guitar player, you're not going to forget how to play guitar. But those days of getting in a vehicle and driving 7.5 hours to play in the middle of Nebraska, and then tomorrow is 11.5 hours over to Minnesota, 4.5 hours into Wisconsin, 6 hours over to Indiana, and then to get home, it's 13 hours. Those
Man,
days are going to be
man,
over.
man.
You know, TSA agents, I don't want anything to do with them. Long lines at the airport, no. Rude people in line at the, no. All of that's going to be over with.
Now let me ask
I
you something.
yeah.
When you look back, what was one point in your career that you said, "Damn, that was fantastic"?
Well, there's two of them.
Okay.
Here
Yeah.
recently, we played the Grand Ole Opry,
Oh wow, wow.
and then we
That's
played
an
the Ryman.
accomplishment right there.
Yeah, and then we played the Ryman. When I stepped foot onto the Ryman Theater, that was magnificent. I played the uh, I played the Opry 5 times, twice with the Daredevils, twice with my songwriting partner Trent Summer, and I played it once with Carlene Carter.
Oh wow, wow.
When you step onto that stage, that's an absolute thrill, absolute highlight. And then, long ago, when we first started, Glenn Johns came into our lives to produce our first record. When I walked into they flew us all to London to make our first record. When I walked into that studio that he just finished working on, you know, uh, he just recorded Who's Next. He just recorded Beggar's Banquet, and all those people. And I thought about all those John, Paul, and George and Ringo were sitting in these very chairs. That was a real thrill, absolute thrill.
Now, when you played with, I know you played with lots of bands. What
Correct.
is there one band or performer that you were awestruck by,
Uh,
or you just say, "Hell, I'm just as good as all you guys"?
uh, no, but I would no, but I was awestruck when I met Paul McCartney.
Oh wow, wow.
We didn't play with him. We went to his concert, and afterwards he invited us back, pardon me, to visit with he and when Linda was still alive.
Oh yeah.
And so we walked into the back room, and um, that was an absolute thrill. But
I
when
bet.
you step onto the stage, man, hey, look, man, I'm as good as anybody.
That's
You know,
true, because you guys are.
you have to have that. You have to have that mindset, or you can go back and work at Walmart.
Are you guys ever coming to Little Rock? That's where I'm at right now.
We were just in Little Rock earlier this year. I think earlier, or maybe in last year. But we've always had a really nice time in Little Rock. You see, because like we were talking about earlier, from Springfield, Missouri, we can get to Little Rock easily from Springfield. We can get to St. Louis.
Oh, absolutely,
We
yeah.
can get to Kansas City. We can get to Wichita. We can get to Memphis. So that's where we've been for the last 35 years. I didn't need to go to Philadelphia. I didn't need to go to Phoenix. I don't want to play in Detroit. So as for coming back to Little Rock, not this year, because we've got 3 more months, no, 2 more months, and then who knows?
Well,
Like I
I
said,
tell you,
there's no rules. Who knows where I'm going to be next?
if you come to Little Rock, we're going to take you out to some of the best barbecue in the state. Unfortunately, you've got to pay for it, but we'll take you out to some of the best barbecues because we got great barbecue down here.
Why do I have to pay for
You got money.
it? Yeah, no problem. Well, see, we spent a lot of time in Little Rock at one point. Good Lord. Well, I've been in Nashville 34 years. So I guess it was 40 years, some odd years ago. We uh, we would go down and spend time in Little Rock, and then we come up to Eureka Springs,
Yep, yep, yep.
and then Hot Springs is down there. So we're not that far from Arkansas. Where yeah, I love Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa. Yeah,
So
Kansas.
where do
It's
you
great.
live now?
West.
Where do you
Right
live
now,
now?
I'm talking to you from my office in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
I moved down here during a real slow point for the Daredevils in 1991. We weren't working much. We didn't have anything going. I think we played maybe 20 gigs that year. That left him with 345 days off. And I really didn't want to spend 345 days off in Springfield, Missouri. So I moved to Nashville in order to get my songs into people's ears and have other people record my songs. So Chet Atkins recorded my song
Really?
called The Ode to Mel Bay.
Wow.
He and Tommy Emmanuel made a record together. And let me see, Augie Myers from the Texas Tornadoes recorded some.
Yeah.
Walter Egan, Billy Bremner from Rockpile. I haven't really had any massive hits, but I've had a whole bunch of little bitty hits.
Hey,
And
a little bit adds up to a lot.
little bits add up to a lot. And so, yeah, I'm calling from Nashville, Tennessee, in my office, 10 a.m. on Friday, Labor Day weekend, 2025, Central Daylight Time, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I'm in Nashville,
Well,
and I love it down here, man.
well, I mean, you're what do they call it? I saw one interview with you where you said you're the crazy grandpa,
Silly.
silly grandpa.
I'm
That's
the
it.
silly grandpa. I have a character down here. I have 7 grandchildren. And as a songwriter, when they started to come along, it's the same shtick, but instead of, writing and singing about beer, cars, drugs, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, I write about puppies, breakfast, and taking naps.
And if you're from
If-
Missouri,
okay, now
it's biscuits and gravy.
biscuits and gravy, bacon and eggs. That's my big hit on the Silly Grandpa record. Here's what you do: go to a website called sillygrandpamusic.com. Sillygrandpamusic.com will take you to Silly Grandpa's website. I've got 2 albums and a coloring book, and yeah, I do that. But when you're a writer, you write all the time. I write all the time, and I record. I'm going in next week with my band down here in Nashville to record a new record. So yeah, I'm always working, buddy.
Well, I tell you, we're coming up to visit with Lori Morgan sometime next year. Is it okay if I drop by and say hi?
Sure. Yeah, give me a shout. You're coming to Nashville.
Yes, because
Yeah,
Lori
no
Morgan
problem.
moved up from Florida to Nashville, and she wants us to come up next year. So if
No
I'm up
problem.
there,
You got it. I'll come meet you all, and we'll sit down and we'll see you tell each other giant lies and right and jokes.
and one thing with you guys, before we leave you, you got to give it to you guys. Drugs and alcohol didn't destroy you guys back in the 70s. That's
Well,
an accomplishment.
Well, see, now we get back to this. Had I moved out to L.A. and made $11 million, that it may have changed the scenario. Luckily enough, I didn't have enough money to become a full-blown cokehead. I ran out of money, and that was that. But it didn't destroy us because in Missouri or in the Ozarks, in the Midwest, we have our feet on the ground. When your feet are on the ground, you're pretty rooted to the earth, to your family, to your friends, your
Absolutely.
music, to your art. If you remain true to that, all those things, you're pretty solid.
Well, I tell you, Soup, this has been a great interview. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm coming up to Nashville, and we're going to hang out and
Yeah.
maybe get whatever barbecue you got up there because I'm a big barbecue fan. Or if not, we'll just go to McDonald's.
No. You come up here, you come to Nashville, we'll go out and get barbecue, and I'll pay.
You can't get any better than that, Soup.
There you go, buddy.
And like I said, I'm going to send you that book when I finish it, and so you can autograph it and say, Roy did finish this book.
Yeah, you got it, my friend. It's good to finally hook up with y'all because last week I went through absolute computer hell
Yeah, I saw that.
I got it all fixed, and here we are. It's good to meet you, good to talk to you, and may our paths cross in the future.
Okay, you take care, Soup, and thank you for coming on. Ozark Mountain Daredevil is one of the best damn bands you've ever can see. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you start buying some of their albums.
Right,
And
exactly right.
it
Thanks.
shines. That's a great book. I've only about a quarter way through, but it's a good book.
Just have fun.
Okay, you take care, Soup,
Later
and
on.
we're out of here.
See ya.
Okay, bye-bye.